Some movies start with a bang. Is this thing on? Starts with a breakup and somehow turns into a mic check. Will Arnett plays Alex, the dad staring down middle-aged co-parenting and the quiet panic where you realize your life is changing whether you're ready or not. Laura Dern plays Tess, his wife, who's done carrying the emotional load for two people. As their marriage unravels, Alex does the one thing you're absolutely not supposed to do during a divorce. He tries stand-up comedy in the New York club scene, chasing down a new identity one uncomfortable joke at a time. Directed by Bradley Cooper, this isn't a ha-ha comedy as much as a painfully true comedy full of awkward silence, small victories, and the messy question of whether love can evolve without disappearing. Is this thing on? It's about learning how to be funny whether your life isn't, and realizing sometimes the hardest crowd isn't winning back the room. It's the person who knows your material already.
Welcome to the Burnt or Buttered podcast. I'm Toast.
And I'm Stetson, and we talk about movies every single week. And this movie we are talking about is this thing on?
It is, yeah.
And whoa, what a surprise.
Yeah, this was a really interesting one. You go into it based on the previews, you kind of think this is going to be, there's going to be some good jokes in this, right? You're going to be laughing and it's going to be heartwarming and you're just going to be along for this fun romantic comedy, right? Maybe if Will Arnett and John Bishop, or not John Bishop, Mark Chappell actually got to write the, or made the movie of the original screenplay that they had written, that's what we would have gotten. That's what Will Arnett says. He says, if we would have gone with the original screenplay, we would have had a decent, fun, romantic comedy. But once Bradley Cooper got involved, it took on a completely different tone and told a totally different story while still keeping many of the events the same.
I wonder if that was just because Bradley Cooper wanted something more deep or just wanted to shoot it in a different style, or if maybe, I guess, Bradley Cooper reading the story is like, this is kind of the story, you know, like this is the human side of the story.
Yeah. I listened to several interviews with him about this movie, and he is so energetic and excited about filmmaking. In this movie, he got to kind of dip his hands into almost all aspects of it. He directed, he helped write. In fact, he did a big rewrite. Will Arnett and Mark Chappell had been working on this story for a little bit.
And Mark Chappell is just his writing partner. Oh, okay.
And so I don't believe he's an actor, but he's written several things. And so those two were working on this screenplay, and Will Arnett is friends with Bradley Cooper. And so just in passing, he was like, oh, this is what I'm working on. And Bradley Cooper was like, oh, I love this. Can I be involved? And Will was like, yeah, like you're good at this. So, and then it's actually based on John Bishop, who is a real comedian in the UK.
Okay. In the UK. So not in the New York area.
No. And so I guess that was a big change. Originally, they were working with a UK based studio to produce it. And then when Bradley Cooper got involved, he was like, hey, write what you know, right? And what I know is I love New York.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the sets were actually places that he hangs out at, or like the school is his kid's actual school.
Nice.
The music teacher at the end is his kid's music teacher. And he saw him perform at one of these shows and he was like, that guy, I need that excitement. I need like this level of care towards the work, you know? So he hired him, and then the two girls who were singing in the end are schoolmates of his daughter.
Did you ever see Little Reindeer?
Little Reindeer. I
It's
don't
on
think
Netflix.
I did. It's the like stocking.
Yeah.
One. Yeah.
So it's
baby reindeer.
Baby reindeer. Yeah. Very similar idea, like around there's just a guy that's coming up in the comedy scene type feeling. And so I think that might have been a thought process of not doing it in the UK, because that one's based in somewhere in Europe, I think in the UK, maybe Scotland or something. I don't know. It's somewhere in Europe.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. So
I'm
I don't
American, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so somewhere out there. So I think that like maybe that was a thought process too, you know, combined with, I know New York, I really want to show New York, but also let's not make another comedy, you know, awkward comedy movie in the UK, you know, because Baby Reindeer did so good.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't hear him mention that specifically. One thing that he did mention that he took inspiration from was Nosferatu, actually. The aspect ratio. He really liked the aspect ratio from Nosferatu, and he was like, what is that?
I did notice it.
You noticed it. I didn't. Bradley Cooper was real impressed with it. And so he decided to put that in this movie because he thought that it fit with the feeling of this movie.
One thing that Bradley Cooper, I think, really got hooked on in this movie was like a 24 millimeter,
40
millimeter lens.
Yeah.
Because man, there was some tight shots in this one, like over and over and over again, which I think is a huge credit to Will Arnett. Like, have you watched Lego Masters?
I haven't.
Okay. So Will Arnett hosts Lego Masters because he's Lego Batman.
Right. Yeah.
And, from that show, I'm just like, okay, this guy's like a really good comedian, but I don't know about actor. This like really showed Will Arnett's acting chops. I mean, the depth that we were getting from the scene one, you know, of Will Arnett and this internal battle that's happening inside of his mind was intense. A lot of very, very tight shots over and over and over again. There's just no hiding. And I wonder how that was on set.
Man, so this is why I'm so glad that I listened to some of these interviews, because that was something that they talked about a lot, right? He talked about he used exclusively the 40 millimeter lens for this movie, which means, you know, it's kind of a good spot to be because it's not wide angle. It's not, you know, telephoto. It's kind of what your eye naturally sees. Right. And so it feels natural already. The other thing that he said was, he ended up operating the camera a lot of times.
Bradley Cooper.
Yeah. And so him and Will Arnett are really close friends. And then Laura Dern and Bradley Cooper are really close friends. And Will Arnett and Laura Dern had not met before this movie. But the thing that they all kept on bringing up is that since it was a 40 millimeter lens and he's the director and also the camera operator, he's right there, you know? And so a lot of times he's giving direction during the scene.
Wow.
Instead of having your director way back there, you know, who watched this scene and then says, cut, try this different. He's telling you in the scene, hey, do this, you know? And Laura Dern specifically brought up that sometimes you would feel something in a scene and you're like, maybe should I do this? And since Bradley Cooper was right there, he would see, and he knows them so well, he would see it in them and he'd be like, yeah, go for it. And so they'd just go for it. And they said that a lot of that stuff, a lot of the like close scenes of Tess and Will Arnett, or of Laura Dern and Will Arnett, they only took like 2 or 3 takes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, it felt very authentic and very human. The first little glimpse of it that I got that was really impactful to me is when they eat the cookies and he gets off the train and doesn't get on, and he's like tapping on the window, and she's like, "Are you gonna be okay? Are you gonna be okay?" And he's like, "I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be okay." And like, and it was so much more than like, I'm gonna be okay, like in the way that I'm high and I'm gonna find my way home or whatever. But it was more so, I'm gonna be okay. Yeah. You're leaving. I'm here. I'm alone. I'll be okay.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out. And yeah, that for some reason, those shots in that train station really impacted me. Even just they're fighting emotionally, the process of them divorcing and them still loving each other and trying to figure out like where we're at and all this. We're still trying to keep up the facade that we're okay, but we're really not. All that really comes through in how they acted it. I mean, the nuances were really impactful to me.
Yeah. Yeah. And it wasn't like big screaming moments. It was these quiet moments that felt so real, right? Like you're in a relationship, it's ending, but you have all these things that tie you together. You have these kids, so you've got to still be cool with each other. And you're fighting everything inside you to like fight them. Yeah, it's so complex. And Bradley Cooper, I guess, when he told Laura Dern about this project, she was really excited and she was like, I want to be in it. And so he actually was able to, when he did the rewrite, he was able to write each of these characters for their actors, actually, which he said was really helpful as far as them creating their characters because they were involved in the writing process or he thought of them while he was doing it. So,
yeah, you can definitely tell. I mean, so many different things. I think of when they're at the cabin, very end of the movie or close to the end of the movie, they feel like they're on top of it. They're like kind of reestablishing this new relationship. They're having fun again, whatnot. They walk down to the beach and he is super excited to show her the big painting, a big portrait that he got of her in the Olympics. And she just is pissed. And like that exchange is so familiar. Of like, you're expecting, like, this is what you thought that they wanted, and you're excited about it. You're ready for them to react in what you're expecting to be like a super awesome reaction because you're pumped about it.
Yeah.
And the boys were pumped about it. They're super excited. But when she sees it, she is completely turned off and realizes that like he doesn't get what she wants. Which his reaction's supernatural, I feel like, as well, where he's just like, I don't understand why you are upset.
Yeah.
And yeah, the transition to him understanding why she was upset and then kind of bringing it full circle of, them repairing that relationship that way. And the adage of, I don't want to be unhappy with anybody else. Type idea is an interesting one.
Yeah. Like there's so much to this movie in the performances, in the writing. And we haven't even talked about any of the funny stuff yet. We're just talking about how grounded the performances were.
Which I feel like in a movie like this is a byproduct of just life. Like the funny wasn't even necessarily funny. I mean, the stand-up isn't necessarily funny. It's just like him getting up there and finding a way to have a open book diary to what he is going through.
Yeah.
You know, that's what, the comedy turns into, which is really understandable in the way of like, oh, he found a way to process feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And to him, it's a really exciting way of getting things out.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I feel like the stand-up sets felt really real.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons that it felt real was because Will Arnett and Bradley Cooper and one of the other crew members all went and watched Will Arnett do actual open mics.
Oh, really?
To tourists in New York, like people who wouldn't recognize him, but they would go to these open mics, and sometimes he would do a set and everyone would be laughing and clapping and he'd feel like $1 million, right? And then they'd go down, like legitimately how they did it in the movie. 10 minutes later, they walk down to a different club. He does the same set and it bombs. And like you have to, he went through the steps of actually feeling what it feels like to do both, you know?
And I feel like that's pretty common. I mean, you hear on Kill Tony all the time when you're watching it. There's like, literally just tried this set down the road and dead silent. Like nobody laughed, but it like kills on Kill Tony, which is interesting. And I think that more so than anything, it's like reading the people in the room of like, maybe maybe I need to change my set to, oh, this is what they, laughed at. So I got to change to this, but I don't know. Stand up is just a different beast. And I did like them showing the people in stand up because I just think that it's interesting. Everyone's writing and everyone's just making fun of each other all the time. And you're just giving each other a hard time.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have that experience with, or have some experience in the way of being around that type of scene.
Stetson has done improv. In case you guys don't know, he or not improv, but he's done improv, but he's also done stand-up shows.
Only 2.
Yeah, I've been to both.
Toast is now in improv, just so everyone knows.
Yeah.
And we're figuring out. We were just at improv last night.
Just last night.
Toast hatched out of an egg into a crabby crab.
Yeah. All the way to a crabby human. Shut your mouth.
But yeah, the speed of this film is interesting because it's slow, but it also doesn't feel like it drags. The score is something that you pointed out to me that you thought was really interesting. And because you pointed out, I was paying attention to it, which it did. There was something to it because it's a very quiet, very, very quiet movie.
Yeah. So what I didn't realize when I was telling you about the score is it's all based around Under Pressure. It's just different like compositions of Under Pressure as a beat underneath the movie. And I guess when they were filming it, they didn't quite know that it was going to be Under Pressure. He knew that they wanted to have a performance by the kids at the end, but he didn't know which song it was going to be. And Laura Dern found this a cappella version of Under Pressure, which they play at the end, leading into the kids' music. And he listened to it and he was like, this is it. And so it's just this Under Pressure beat through the whole movie.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a very unexpected film. Like you didn't hear anything. I think I maybe saw one trailer for it.
Yeah.
It probably didn't cost that much to film. I mean, like they had some big characters in it, but Bradley Cooper probably didn't pay himself. Like he'll get money from the proceeds of the movie, but he probably didn't give himself a salary, as they filmed it.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Probably wasn't that expensive. Probably, I would say under 10 mil.
Maybe.
We'll look it up.
We'll look it up later. But yes, they did it kind of in an indie film way, where everybody in the crew was involved in everything. Like I said, Bradley Cooper was director, writer. He worked in editing. He worked in sound design.
Crazy.
He acted in it, which I guess there was a different cut of it before, and they showed it to a few audiences and some people in the Directors Guild, and they made a bunch of changes based on that cut. One of the changes was that Bradley Cooper kept on stealing all his scenes by being too funny.
Oh, really?
Because Will Arnett's having to bring his funniness way down, and then Bradley Cooper comes in dropping milk or like holding a dog. I didn't even know I was holding a dog. You know, like, so there was more stuff like that apparently.
Yeah. Bradley Cooper's character honestly was kind of my least favorite one of the movie. It felt just that relationship between him and his wife in the movie just didn't really feel like super authentic to me.
I felt like I know people like that.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely people like them. It felt a little bit forced watching it. Like everything else felt like really, really grounded. And then, yeah, Bradley Cooper's character, it felt like it was being pushed. And especially his wife. His wife it didn't like the authenticity of her performance just didn't really get there for me. It felt a little bit static. In comparison, like I feel like if everyone else wasn't doing the performance of their life, then it would have been great, you know, but felt like those two just were a little bit disconjointed for me.
Yeah. I feel like I just felt like they were a little bit off because they were under the influence of something at all times, you know? So they would say things or do things that felt off, but I felt like it added to their character. Me personally, I felt like it added to their character because it showed that they were so miserable that they can't interact unless they're on something, you know? Yeah,
that makes sense.
With Bradley Cooper, the one scene that really sticks out to me that I was like, okay, this is good and it's unexpected, was when Will Arnett tells him that he's doing stand-up and that it's fun and he's doing well. And like every person in this movie reacts in a way that I didn't expect to hearing that he does stand up. His parents are so mad. They're like, what? Are you having a midlife crisis? And his kids are like, this is weird, dude. And his wife is like, this is hot. You know, like they all react differently. And what I didn't expect from Bradley Cooper's character was to be like, you've always been funnier than me, and now you're going to be better at the thing that I do than me.
You're going to be successful when I haven't been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so interesting.
Yeah. That was definitely a standout scene that gave that character actually some context for me. That felt real for sure. The one scene that got me was when his dad comes out of the comedy club and sees his show for the first time, because his dad was like super against it. Then he shows up to the one show that is just
that he's just terrible at.
Just him screaming about just random stuff, not even being funny. But it was so awesome because his dad realized that this was his way of talking. Like he never talked to his dad that way. This is the first time his dad has probably ever heard his feelings. And his dad's recognizing like, oh, this is the only way he feels like he can express himself. And I understand you. It's okay. It's going to be okay. I love you. I'm your dad. And next time, tell a few jokes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that. Especially like he didn't know his dad was there. His dad comes out just supporting his son. And you know, you have his mom that's just overbearing, overprotective. Everything in his dad is just, you know, the relationship between the parents is just so common in the way like you have the two type of personalities and they find each other and get married to each other because they're the only ones that can stand each other. And so, yeah, I really liked the dynamic between him and his father. And even like the dynamic between his mom and him too, just, it seemed very real. Like everything just seemed like it was based on experience, instead of a romanticized version of a sequence of events. You know, to put in like contrast of like a biopic type movie of Marty Supreme to Is This Thing On? Like we have two different types of people for sure, like a very normal average person. And this guy is supposed to be extraordinary, but he's kind of normal. And the way that they were told, the two stories were told, like where you have this fantastical side of events and then this is just real. But they're both trying to do similar things. And I don't know, maybe I'm just getting old and I like if Is This Thing On the way that life is being told than Marty Supreme.
You like it more?
Just like the way that the story is being told. And that Marty Supreme, it takes away from me in the way of that I can tell it's almost like watching a crime show and they have a scene that's cut and it's the the dramatic retelling of this thing that happened. And it's just a little bit more than is needed. And because of that, it kind of takes me away out of the story. Where I feel disconnected. In a biopic, I want it to feel like I'm watching real life. Where in Marty Supreme, I just didn't feel that way.
I mean, Marty Supreme is definitely told in a fantastical way. And like, it's kind of like a Wild West folk tale, I guess. Whereas this one is literally just like a day in the life. I don't know. I think I like both ways of telling stories. This one, there's just something that's so real about it that like, even if you don't, I don't know how you couldn't enjoy watching this movie. Whereas I could see people not liking Marty Supreme.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting too is like, I feel like Is This Thing On and like Hamnet are like told in a very similar way of just real. That Hamnet was just, it was not trying to be anything other than, in my opinion, like other than just authentic. In obviously a fictionalized version of events, you know, so like you have like the Marty Supreme, Hamnet, Is This Thing On? It's like real, feels real, but isn't, feels fiction. I don't know.
Fiction can be fun.
Which it can. Yeah. I love most stories like that. I feel like, I don't know, with Marty Supreme, I'm still just questioning it. I just don't know how to feel about it completely. Like it's a hard one for me to recommend. Where with like, Is This Thing On? I feel like, like most people are going to watch it and connect with it in some way, shape, or form. You know, there's a character in the movie that you're going to see yourself in at some point, or some interaction that you're going to recognize. I felt that. Marty Supreme, I feel like there's not a lot of those moments.
It's definitely more to the extremes of personalities, right? Like they're what's the word for it? It's like they're archetypes of characters, right? They're they're not real people, they're archetypes. They illustrate something, whereas this is just such a real raw feeling to it,
which I can get around, get behind.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about Bone Temple and talk about archetypes of a character.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those in Bone Temple. Yeah.
And look forward to that one, because last year when we reviewed 28 Weeks Later, 28 years later, that was our most aggressive review, I think, yet. I mean, even a year later, we're still sitting here thinking we almost broke up the band over that one.
I don't know if we would go that far.
I was like, I don't know if I ever want to go back to that studio.
I'm going solo. Coming out with my own album next week.
Yeah. Me and Brandon Flowers, right? Coming out with our solo albums, and nobody listening to it but me.
And Toes goes and films his punch dance like a week later.
Why aren't people listening to me?
Yeah. 28 years later was for me last year was one of my most pissed off movies of the year, I think.
Yeah.
That everyone was like giving it all these roses and stuff. I'm just like, what are you saying?
And you're going to hear a lot more of that talk in our 28 years later Bone Temple episode.
Bone Temple. And if we're wearing the same clothes,
it means our rating will be the same.
All right. Well, what do you think? Do you have anything else that you want to talk about with Is This Thing On?
I just really liked his dad's character and how he would just randomly be drinking the juice. Like the kids would come over. No, there's no juice left. Your grandpa drank it. And then you see him like, but yeah, that's about it.
Nice. Well, let's rate this thing. I'm going to give Is This Thing On I'm going to give it a 4.1.
Pretty good.
I think that most everything worked in this movie. The only reason I'm not giving it higher is because it didn't. I feel like when you're watching something that's going to win a lot of awards and stuff like that, you just feel it. You know, and I really loved this movie. I thought it was shot really, really great. But there was nothing that stuck out that would make this like top tier films. Like this is definitely up there. It's beautiful. It's Bradley. Everyone should be super, super proud of it. But is it, up there with Hamnet? I don't think so.
All right. Well, let me preface this by saying that I'm a huge Will Arnett fan, so I'm going to be biased. Love Laura Dern. Bradley Cooper's been great in a lot of things. I think he does a great job as a director and gets a lot of good performances out of people. I do understand what you're saying where, yeah, it doesn't have that grandiose feeling of a blockbuster movie, right? But it's so recommendable. It's so real, and there's something in it for everybody, I think. So I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, sweet. If you haven't seen this, Is This Thing On? Why did you watch this podcast?
I feel like this was one of our least spoilery episodes, though. Like we stuck to a lot of technicality stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about a lot of different parts of the movie.
Sure.
But yeah, you should definitely go see it. If you did see it and you're watching this, it's probably because you love it just as much as we do. So tell us the parts that we missed in this movie that were amazing, that we didn't talk about.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll see you in the next one.